Welcome to 40 Fit Fu. My name is Oscar and I can't hold this for too much longer. And this is Mimi and she can hold it for longer.
We are here every Tuesday, hopefully giving you good fitness advice so that you can stay mobile and fit well into your 40s and up. And that way you can keep doing Kung Fu or Tai Chi or whatever your preference of exercise is for as long as possible.
For as long as possible. So we're going to, even though this episode is specifically about foot and ankles, we're going to stand up for a second. If you're 40, you know what I'm talking about. All right. First thing is, Mimi does a pretty good job of every day rolling out the bottom of the feet. If we want to improve the mobility of the ankle, a great place to start is at the bottom of the foot. So why don't you take them through, what's your routine look like?
Pretty much, I put the ball down and I roll my foot.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, but generally speaking, every night I roll my foot out, I sit on the bed and this is going to be on the ground level, and it just depends. Like if I've had a pretty easy day, I just make sure I roll and get all surfaces, go back and forth, side to side, just kind of turn the foot, make sure I kind of cover the surface. But if it's like I just did Chinese New Year shows or something, then I know I need to maybe stand, put a little more pressure, right. Do some holding and then slow rolling so that you're getting like trigger point stuff. So it really depends on you, but even just doing the actual, roll out where you're just kind of covering the surface I feel has been beneficial. Like I will feel it, the 40 Fit Fu part, the 40 and up part, if I don't do this. Right. Like everything else starts to get affected. So this is part of my daily routine.
Right, and I think that comes with experience of knowing like what are the things you need to do on a day-to-day basis to maintain, right? And something as simple as rolling out the bottom of your foot, we're using lacrosse balls. I like the idea of kind of smearing side to side, like a windshield wiper type of motion, and then also gripping, getting some big toe and little toes moving in. The most painful part for me, I don't know about you, Mimi, is the middle of my foot. Some people get into the heels. Yeah. But what we're going to do for today, since we're focusing on the foot and ankle, is we're just going to focus on one. I know that my left ankle is the one that gives me problems. But I would recommend doing them on both. So after you see us go through the whole routine with one foot, just hit rewind. You'll get to see our beautiful faces again. One person's beautiful face again. And then do it on your other foot. So we've been rolling for about a minute-ish, a little bit longer, right? I feel like I can hang out longer because I found a trigger point.
It just feels so good.
It feels pretty good.
So this is like a little self-care, self-massage. It's a nice thing to do for yourself.
And let's take it down now, because the other part to this is you could also roll some of the tissues up above the ankle. So we did the bottom of the foot, but we can kind of get some of this stuff here. Now, you do this as well, and you feel it.
I do feel this, yeah.
So
especially when you're wearing heels.
So you're using your right side. Yeah, we're both kind of gravitating towards the inside of the ankle. You don't ignore the outside as well. Yeah, do both. The calves, you can get some of the calves as well. You can get the anterior tib, which is the front of the shin on the outside part. All that stuff. And we spend, again, about 30 seconds here. It depends, 30 seconds to a minute on each part of rolling. We spend, you can spend about 2 minutes just rolling the foot out. Doing that may save you up to 5 minutes of the stretching part, because you don't have to.
We love saving time.
You don't have to then kind of get blood and fluid into the tissue to kind of wake that stuff up. So let's say we've rolled. Check. What's the next step? If you had a guess, if I were to say, hey, here's what the next step is, what would you say it is?
What is it that you really love to talk about on 40 Fit Fu? Joint mobility?
Yes, joint mobility. Specifically, cars or controlled articular rotations, or just think of them as joint circles. So what we're going to do is our ankle. I'm going to back up a little bit here. And also, let us know what you think about this lighting. One of our 40 Fit Fu viewers said, hey, why don't you use this light?
Yes, this is donated by one of our very loyal 40 Fit Fu followers, and was like, we want to see you better. I want to see you clearer. So let us know if this is clearer, because it is sacrificing our vision a little bit. It's pretty bright on this side of the camera, but we will do it for you.
This is the sacrifice that stars have to make. Okay, so here's the thing. Since I backed up a little bit here, I've actually walked my foot forward enough that the ball of my foot can still touch the floor, but I can't really put too much force into the ground, because that's getting me towards the max stretch of the ankle in that position, right? Plantar flexion for you nerdy nerds out there. So that's the kind of the max that I have there in that position. And what we're gonna do is we're going to flex our toes towards our shin. We're gonna visualize a big X on our shin bone, and we don't want that X to move in any direction, just the ankle. We also don't want the toes to be moving. We want them to be straight like this. And I may not be successful there, but we flex our toes towards our shin. We're gonna point the pinky toe towards the outside without moving the shin. And then it's like gas pedaling down towards the floor. And that's kind of the max, right? You can't really put force into the ground if you did this right the first time. You sweep the floor, you pick up the big toe towards the shin, and you repeat. And let's go 2 times each direction. Anywhere from 2 to 5 times is a good rep range. We reset, flexing the toe towards the shin, turning over towards the big toe side without moving the shin, gas pedaling down, sweeping the floor. Sweep the floor, Johnny, that's for our friend Pete, and then take the toes towards the shin, okay? So that's 2 full joint circles for the ankle. The next step now, so what that did is a little bit of an assessment. How did your ankles feel? What's your range of motion felt like? Now we have to try to expand the range of motion of the ankle, and the best way to do that is by isometrically loading it, which just means that you're putting force without it moving. Let's get into different types of positions here.
Sure.
So I am going to be here where one knee is down, one knee is out, and I'll show you from 2 different angles. You can be like so, or you can be like so. This is what I have found has worked best for me. Mimi's a little bit more squared up, almost like a kneeling, like a split squat or a kneeling horse stance type of position. She can also do, because she's got the mobility for it, be in that half kneeling horse stance, half butterfly horse stance position. So just get into a position that you like, and what we want to think about
is
that...
And if you need a pad, you can use a pad.
Yeah, actually, do not get uncomfortable and be like, oh, my knee hurts, but I'm focusing on my ankle.
You can't really focus on your ankle.
Exactly, it's not going to help. And the last point that I'll make too is the further that your foot out is away from the base leg, the more of a groin stretch and other muscles you'll stretch. Get into the position that isolates the ankle the most. So if I'm here, look at how wide I'm getting, and I'm trying to stretch my ankle, nothing's going to happen because this is what's limiting me. I'm going to get into a position that as I move and drive my knee forward, I feel it in the ankle. If I show you from the front, my knee is actually going towards my 4th toe. I'm going to use this stick real quick to demonstrate. So I'm placing the stick vertically right in front of my 4th toe and driving my knee towards the outside. That is where you want to get those pulses. You can also alternatively take the front hand, drive the ridge of the hand into the ankle, and then your knee goes forward. So we've been here for about 1.5 minutes. Let's try to hang out. Big inhale, big exhale. Relax into our best possible stretch.
And you should be feeling it.
Where?
Here.
Correct. The back part. So this is your ankle. There's a closing angle, the front. There's an opening angle, the back. We want the stretch to be felt on the opening angle. All right. Here is the next step now. Now we're going to isometrically load it. We spend almost 2 minutes trying to find our best position. The way we isometrically load it is we take from the knuckles of the toes all the way to the toes and try to press hard into the ground. Try to put as much force into the ground as you can. And the way you want to do it is not immediately. You want to kind of gas pedal, almost as if you were driving and you saw the miles per hour going 10, 20, 30, until you get to like 100 miles an hour.
For those of you in Canada or other places,
Kilometers.
It could be kilometers per hour.
This is a great point. For everyone else in the
We
world.
have a lot of international followers, you know.
Yes, of course. So I've been ramping up while we're talking, and now I'm at my max, but safest contraction, and I'm holding 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All that was working. Now I'm going to reverse it, and I'm trying to pick my toes up towards my shin. My foot should not get up off the ground. The ball of my foot should not leave the ground, but I'm contracting all of these muscles for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and breathe. Hang out in your new range of motion. hang out for 30 seconds, hang out for a minute. Repeat this again if you know that you've got ankle issues. If you are feeling it back here, if you're feeling it in the front, back up. You're not ready for that yet. But you can still do isometric loading as long as you back up enough to not feel it here. And then do your other leg. So we've spent...
Do both feet?
I would recommend doing both feet. And then after you do that, move around a little bit. And if you're doing Kung Fu or Tai Chi, get into a hill climbing horse stance. Get into a squat. Get into a half kneeling horse stance, half butterfly horse stance. A riding horse stance. And see how you feel.
Yeah, because I mean, if you want to be able to move properly, all of our weight is here, right? Like this is pretty much what we're on, and so we want to make sure we're taking good care of it. For those of you who are doing Tai Chi and you're thinking, oh, we don't do like full stance work, the thing is, you are flexing that foot all the time and putting down, even if it's slow, especially actually if it's slow, it's actually a lot more demanding to be able to kind of do that weight shifting and have that control. So a lot of people even tell us that they're having trouble just flexing that foot back, and so this is a great way. And of course, with the Kung Fu stuff, any of your kicks, you know, so even the toe kick, because you're moving your foot up and down.
Even the foot that's balanced.
Even the foot that's the foot that's grounded. So this is a super, super important exercise, not to neglect if you want to improve your Kung Fu or Tai Chi, especially.
Right, and think of mobility not just as you're trying to expand your range of motion. You're trying to expand your usable range of motion and build strength in those different ranges of motion. So the act of you having more capacity in the joint will then allow you to be more powerful when you don't even need to be in that capacity. If that makes sense. So that's why the kick, it's still important to, even for the down leg, I just stretched my left leg, that when I'm kicking, I'm in a better position now because that ankle has been strengthened as well. So that is the foot and ankle for 40 Fit Food this week.
All right, so tune in every Tuesday and subscribe. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Wallen Films. You can follow Oscar over at Control Your Health or me at Sifu Mimi Chan. Please give us feedback. Let us know if you tried the exercises, if you followed along, if it was helpful, if you didn't feel the right area stretching. We're here to help you guys out, so let us know. All right, but thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next Tuesday. 40 Fit Food out.